Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes, and this is my 30-day review of the Breville Combi Wave 3-in-1. It's a combination of air fryer, microwave, and convection oven all in a single cooker. I've already done an initial review where I reviewed basically every detail of the cooker. I've done some cook videos that are already out on the channel. I hope that you've already seen all of those. This is basically my 30-day review where I give my thoughts, impressions, and what I think about the cooker. Because of the size and weight of the cooker, I'm not moving it from where I have it already set up in my kitchen to put it on the table for this 30-day review, because I'm not going to be doing any of the details of the functions or showing you anything on the cooker in this review anyway. This is my 30-day review. I do all the details, showing you all the buttons and whistles in my initial review. So you've already seen everything that this can do, and now this is where I basically talk about how it's been working in my kitchen, how it's been going after using it for like a month and using it for various cooks and so on. And I want to say initially, with this cooker, it's super convenient. It's just really cool to have everything in a single cooker, in a single box, to be able to microwave, to air fry, convection bake, all in the same cooker. It's really nice. It's really convenient. So I really like having it, just have its own spot in my kitchen where I can just go to it anytime I want to microwave, or if I just want to really quickly do something on air fry, but I don't want to break out one of my air fryers, or I want to convection bake, but I don't want to really go break out one of my other convection ovens. I can do it all in the Breville Combi Wave if I want. The Breville Combi Wave is not a master of everything. It's not perfect at everything. I'll be getting to more detail as I give my review and other thoughts here. But the convenience of being able to do it all in a single cooker is just very nice to have. First, I want to talk about the Breville Combi Wave as a microwave. That's its initial function. It's a great microwave. It works really well as a microwave. Does a great job. It has a reheat function that works nicely. Basically I'm able to reheat whatever I want to reheat very well. It has a defrost function that works very nicely as well. It has settings for defrost, like if you want to defrost meat, fish, chicken, and also if you're defrosting like strawberries that are frozen strawberries, you can use the fish defrost function and maybe just crank up the size a little bit, and it'll defrost strawberries very nicely as well. So it can also defrost fruit, pretty decent using the fish function to defrost fruit. So I like it very much as a microwave. Also, as a microwave, you can cook your bacon in there. Basically, if you put a vented cover, in my initial review I did the bacon without any cover, just to do things without any cover at all and just see how it would do. That causes a lot of splatter around the microwave. If you cover it with a vented dome cover and cook your microwave in it on the food menu setting or something, you can cook your bacon up nice and you won't have as much splatter all around the microwave. It'll just get all caught up in the dome, and so that works out pretty nice as well. Now, the Breville Combi Wave has a feature called Fast Combi. This feature is not something that you can find in any other cooker out there, and it's pretty nice. I mean, this is something that Breville has that's a special thing they put together in this cooker. It is really cool. I really do like it, because what it does a combination of microwave and convection oven at the same time, so that your food kind of gets a little bit of crispness like it was cooked in an oven, but it cooks it faster than any convection oven would ever cook anything. So basically in half the time you would normally cook food, you can basically cook it on Fast Combi in the Breville Combi Wave and knock it out faster, so you've got your food done, but it's kind of like a microwave cook, but it's kind of like an oven cook, but the results are kind of like a lightly oven cooked type of food. So it's not it's all soggy like it came out of a microwave. It's cooked and it's got a little crisp to it like it came out of an oven, but in less time. So that's a really nice convenient feature to use. The Fast Combi requires that you use this crisper pan, so basically whatever food you can fit into this crisper pan you can use Fast Combi with. And this crisper pan, it's about maybe little under 11 inches in diameter can fit in it, but Fast Combi is real cool. Now you can't use Fast Combi as a shortcut for baking food. Any food that's baked, it's not going to rise properly using Fast Combi. This cooker also can do baking, and you want to use bake functions, the oven function, to do your baking. The oven part of it is what does the baking really well. Fast Combi is not for your baking because dough doesn't rise well when you use Fast Combi. You can also use Fast Combi to grill food, and it'll grill food basically like half the time that a convection oven would grill food. So Fast Combi is a real nice way to do grilled foods also. And there will be a video coming in the future of me grilling some chicken breasts in the Breville Combi Wave on Fast Combi, and you'll see how that turns out. It's real nice. Now the Breville Combi Wave as an air fryer, it can air fry. Again, you have to use this crisper pan. When you're air frying, you have to have the legs of the crisper pan out so that it's like standing up, and you can do your air frying in the crisper pan with the heating element that's on top. And that air fryer, it does a decent job of air frying, but because you don't have things vented, like with regular air fryers, they have like a mesh tray or something so that air can flow on all sides. This being flat without any type of airflow on the bottom, everything you air fry comes out just a little soggier than if you do it in like a regular stand-up air fryer. So if you don't mind things being air fried and just being a light crisp, and not as crisp as you would from other air fryers, you can use this and you'll probably be pretty happy with it. And the Breville Combi Wave is an air fryer, can air fry breaded foods that you put a breading on. You'll see some videos coming where I do that. You've also already seen a video where I've done some fried fish with the breading that I put together, and you'll see some more that's coming as well. It also can air fry frozen foods like your frozen chicken nuggets or whatever of that nature that were already made but are frozen. It can air fry those too. So it can do air frying of all different types of foods just fine. And this cooker does something pretty neat when it comes to the air frying, because this crisper pan, it preheats this crisper pan before you start air frying, and it preheats it using the microwave. So when you start the air fryer, it initially preheats this pan for about 3 minutes using the microwave, and once it's got it nice and hot from the microwave heating it up, then you put your food in it and it'll start air frying with its heating element on the top and its air fryer fan, and cooks things pretty well. And the air fry times after the preheat are on par with other air fryers, although it doesn't get things as crisp necessarily. It air fries in about the same amount of time as the average air fryer. It's not going to basically air fry as fast as something like a Cuisinart digital air fry toaster oven, but it is going to air fry as fast as most air fryers, but not the ones that would typically cook a lot faster than a typical air fryer, but it does pretty good. Now I want to talk about the Breville Combi Wave as a convection oven. As a convection oven, it preheats much slower than convection toaster ovens, and maybe even a little slower than like your old conventional oven. It takes a good while to preheat. It has this metal trivet that you put in when you basically are going to do any type of oven work, and you preheat this trivet, and after it's done preheating, then you would put in your pan or whatever, or you're going to put on the trivet. You don't put food directly on this trivet. You put your pan or whatever you're going to be cooking your food in on the trivet, and you basically heat it up. It takes to get to like 375 takes like 10 minutes with this trivet to just preheat. But if you're doing something like a pizza, a large pizza, and you're going to put like a 12-inch pizza pan in, you can put 12-inch pizza pan on the trivet and have it preheating on the trivet. Things preheat in about 3-4 minutes. About 3 or 4 minutes it'll preheat if you have like a pizza pan or something on here heating things up, I guess, because that big pan getting hot, it gets things hotter a lot faster. But just having this trivet in, things preheat pretty slow. And as a convection oven, it can bake anything. It can bake anything that you need to bake, any baked goods or food or whatever. It can bake, pretty much just like an oven would. The one thing to keep in mind though is that there's no heating element on the bottom. It's only heating from the top. So, basically, although you have the heat coming from the top, nothing coming from the bottom, it still heats things pretty well. It may just take a few more minutes. So you want to give about an extra 3 to 5 minutes cooking time for whatever you're going to bake. But all the results turn out just fine. I mean, it's going to get things hot, the trivet's going to be hot, and so whatever pan or dish you put in there, the food's going to get cooked on the top and the bottom just fine. Especially like if you're just doing like baked goods and stuff, you just need a few extra minutes. Now there's something to keep in mind when it comes to cooking pizzas in the Breville Combi Wave, because if you have like a frozen pizza that's like a 12-inch DiGiorno type size pizza, something like that, it's going to be too big to put into this pan here, because they have in the Breville Combi Wave, they have a setting in its food menu options for pizza, and it's made for cooking, they say, a quote-unquote full-size pizza, but you can't fit a 12-inch pizza in a pan that takes less than 11 inches in diameter, or that is less than 11 inches in diameter. So you can't put your pizza, like if it's like a 12-inch pizza, in this pan. And the pizza setting uses a combination of the grill and microwave functions to cook a frozen pizza. But since you can't put a big like 12-incher in here, because that would like sag down in the middle and such, it wouldn't probably look nice once you were done if you were cooking something, a whole 12-inch pizza trying to use this pan. You can only cook smaller size pizzas in here. So if you have like a 12-inch pizza, you use like a 12-inch metal pizza pan, and you can stick that in there, put your pizza on it, preheat that pan and put your pizza on it, and it'll cook the pizza up just fine. It takes a little extra time. There will be a pizza video coming with full details in that, but it takes a few extra minutes to cook a frozen pizza. It's like a big 12-inch pizza, doesn't necessarily recommended time. And that pizza, the bottom of it, because there's no heating element on the bottom, even though you might preheat that metal pan, it's not going to be as crisp as if you cooked it in like other ovens, because there's no heat coming from the bottom. So the bottom is going to be just a little soft. It's going to be fully cooked, but just a little soft. So all the same, the pizza turns out nice, all together, well cooked, all around and inside. It's just the bottom's not going to be as crisp as if you cooked it in, say, a convection toaster oven that has heating elements on the top and the bottom. Now I want to talk about the food menu options in the Breville Combi Wave. It has a food menu option that has a whole bunch of presets for a lot of different types of foods you might want to cook. And I found when using that it works really well with like fish, and it basically for meat, like in chicken, you can use it, but for those thicker meats, the presets that they have basically undercook the food a bit. You can cook from frozen or fresh. There are options to cook from frozen or fresh, but either way, the results are a little undercooked when there are heavier meats involved. Lighter meats, lighter things, it cooks, those food menu options work out perfectly. But it just seems like with the heavier stuff, you have to add a little more time than their presets show. And I've already shown like doing a Cornish hen from frozen and a Cornish hen fresh. You've seen the differences there and how it goes. But all the same, just be prepared with heavier meats that you'll need a little more time than their presets show. Always be sure to check your temperatures, use a food safety thermometer. That's the best way to go. Now the Breville Combi Wave has a grill function. It's an inside door function to basically try and crisp foods. It crisps foods just a little. It doesn't do a whole lot of searing. It does just a little, maybe just a light searing, I wouldn't, if you're really serious into searing food, I would not look to the Breville Combi Wave to be your searer. You might be thinking, oh, I can get this Breville Combi Wave and I can cook my food with it, then I can use its grill function to sear things up. If you're into having a deep sear, in my opinion, this is not it. It's not going to get you there. It gives a real light sear. I've shown you doing a steak in a video doing a steak, how it goes with doing a searing of a steak with the grill function. Just a light searing, not a real serious sear. It did caramelize a little of the fat, just a little, but not a whole lot if you're into the deep sear. And I think to get a really deep sear, you might even have to leave your food in there in unreasonably long time, then you would really want to have to just cook something to get a sear on it. But I've done searing, like leaving things in there for like 10 minutes and whatnot to try and get a sear on them, and it's just light. That's all I can say. The Breville Combi Wave also has a like melt butter function. Does a really good job of melting butter. It's real cool because like it'll melt the butter, but the butter is still kind of in that butter shape, so that it's kind of perfect for serving and just getting pieces off. If you want to just slice pieces off of a stick of butter. It also is able to melt chocolate real nice, and I've had a video that I've put out where I showed how it melts chocolate. It does a real great job with that if you're into melting chocolate at all. The Breville Combi Wave is a relatively quiet cooker. It doesn't make a whole lot of noise, so that's really nice. Also, I want to point out that the Breville Combi Wave is not a toaster oven. Not a toaster oven. It's a microwave. It's a convection oven. It's an air fryer all in one, but it is not a toaster, not a toaster oven. If you're trying to get crisp toast, my opinion, you're not going to get it with the Breville Combi Wave. You can use the crisper pan. You can try and heat it up on air fry and then put your bread in there to try and toast it. It is going to put, maybe some browning on your bread, but it's not going to be a real crisp because, like I mentioned with air frying, it doesn't really, in my opinion, do a great job at making things really crisp. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's convection oven, air fryer, microwave, not a toaster. The Breville Combi Wave has a nice add 30 seconds feature. You can use that with basically any of its cooking functions just to add 30 seconds to time. Also, the Breville Combi Wave has an a bit more button, and that's something that is in a lot of Breville products, and you can press that a bit more button and they try and guess about how much more time you'll need to cook something, and that works out decent. That a bit more button, you can't use it until after the cook's done, and then you hit a bit more and you can start your cook again to continue cooking longer. I kind of wish that a bit more button, like if you were in the final seconds of a cook and you saw it wasn't near done, you could press that a bit more before the time was up and just let it keep going without having to wait for things to stop and then hit a bit more and get it going again. I've had no smoke issues with the Breville Combi Wave. Be sure to use it as you're supposed to use it for the different features and functions, and you won't have any smoke problems. Be sure to clean in between cooks if anything splatters, because if you get any grease around the interior and then you use like the oven or something, it's going to cause smoke because of that stuff that's in there all over the wall. So you've got to make sure you clean between cooks and use it as directed. For bacon, if I use the Breville Combi Wave for bacon, I use it as a microwave for bacon. It's made to microwave bacon, and so that's how I use it. If I want to air fry bacon, I'm going to use one of my air fryers to air fry the bacon. If I want to bake the bacon, I'm going to use like another convection oven or something. The Breville Combi Wave is made to microwave the bacon, so I use it for the functions it's made to use, for the way that they're supposed to be used. And the food menu can really help you a great deal in that regard. So now it's time to do comparisons with other cookers, and I've got my notes here, so I'm going to be looking at my notes to make sure that I don't misstate anything that I've noted that I wanted to make sure to mention to you about its comparison with other cookers. Now, the Breville Combi Wave compared to the Amazon Smart Oven. If you saw my Amazon Smart Oven review, you already know the answer to this one. The Breville Combi Wave is way better than the Amazon Smart Oven. It preheats faster, cooks faster. The crisper pan here is just top notch and helps to cook things much better than the Amazon Smart Oven's pan did. And Amazon Smart Oven has no features like the Fast Combi. That's something unique to this Breville Combi Wave. So, if you haven't seen my Amazon Smart Oven review video, be sure to check that out. And the Breville Combi Wave, be sure to see that earlier review, and you can see how basically it compared in reviews of both of them initially. And you can also see some of my other Breville Combi Wave videos to see how it cooks to do things like Fast Combi and such. Now, the Breville Combi Wave compared to convection toaster ovens like the Power Air Fryer Oven 360, New Wave Bravo XL Smart Oven, they cook faster for what they can do, because they have like the heating element on the top and the bottom, so they can do the convection oven thing faster than the Breville Combi Wave. But of course they can't microwave. They can do a crisper fry, if you're air frying though. So if you need a microwave and you need a air fryer, convection toaster oven, the Breville Combi Wave can do it all. It's kind of like a, depending on what you need, it's up to you. But if you already have a microwave, and you can probably just get a convection toaster oven or air fryer. If you already have a good microwave and you're wondering, well, maybe I should get the Breville Combi Wave to do everything. If you got a good microwave, then just get a good air fryer or a good convection oven and add to that. If you're cramped for space, then yeah, the Breville Combi Wave can help your space problem and do it all in one. But if you're not cramped for space and you already got a good microwave, then just get a air fryer or convection toaster oven and be done with it. You'll be just fine, in my opinion. Now, the Breville Combi Wave compared to air fryer ovens like the Power Air Fryer Oven Elite, New Wave Brio 14Q, they can, as I already stated, air fry better. But if you don't do much air frying and you need a microwave, then get the Breville Combi Wave, because then you'll be able to do it all in one. Now, let's say you don't need a microwave, but you don't have an air fryer oven and you're thinking about an air fryer oven or the Breville Combi Wave. This is my opinion. I still say the Breville Combi Wave is better in this case than an air fryer oven, because the Breville Combi Wave has the Fast Combi feature. And the Fast Combi feature is pretty nice in my opinion. It's just something nice to have and play around with, unless you want real crispy air frying and you're really into a lot of air frying. Now, the Breville Combi Wave compared to basket air fryers like the Philips Air Fryer Double XL, of course the standalone air fryer is going to air fry better, but you can't see your food. They can't microwave, they can't bake well in those standalone air fryers. So Breville is better, the Breville Combi Wave is better overall in my opinion, unless you're just really a fan of basket air fryers. Now, the Breville Combi Wave versus a pressure air fryer like the Emerald Lagasse pressure air fryer or Ninja Foodie, or the one Instapot's got out, all those, you know them all. Anyway, these are two different worlds of cooking, trying to compare the Breville Combi Wave to a pressure air fryer. But overall, just overall speaking, I would take the Breville because it can also microwave and you can see your food and it helps you to reheat your food real easy. So, basically if you've got a good microwave and you're wondering about getting a Breville Combi Wave versus a pressure air fryer, still, the technology in this Breville Combi Wave is just really neat to have. So I still kind of lean towards the Breville all the same versus a pressure air fryer, although a pressure air fryer is going to make meat that's real tender. You can still, with the Breville Combi Wave, you can still do a lot of nice cooking with it. Now, the Breville Combi Wave compared to the New Wave Oven Pro, for all of you who have the New Wave Oven Pro, this is again another comparison of two totally different worlds almost, because the New Wave Oven Pro is such a versatile cooker, can cook so much. And the Breville Combi Wave, it's a combination cooker, made in like 2019, so it's just totally different. I would say you only get the Breville Combi Wave if you need a microwave. If you have a New Wave oven and you need a microwave and you're thinking about moving on to something else, then maybe get the Breville Combi Wave. But if you don't need a microwave and you got a New Wave Oven Pro, then you're probably good to go. And of course, the New Wave Oven is able to cook things that are so much larger than the Breville Combi Wave can even fit. Now I need to talk about the New Wave Primo Grill Oven, because some of you may be wondering how the Breville Combi Wave compares to the New Wave Primo Grill Oven. I have to say that for myself, the New Wave Primo Grill Oven is officially disqualified. Basically, if you've seen my 6-month review of the New Wave Primo Grill Oven, I've basically gotten tired of it having parts that break and such. I did get New Wave to replace all the parts that were broken, and they basically had to replace almost everything except the grill plate and the dome. I mean, other than literally the grill plate and the dome, they had to replace everything. Even the rubber feet under the grill plate had to be replaced, because even those were coming apart. And I'm really just not feeling having these issues. I'm not even into trying the New Wave Primo again to just see, oh, will it last or will it break again? I'm just done. And so the New Wave Primo grill oven, personally, I'm only going to use it when I got like a ham or a turkey or something that won't fit in something else and I need to use it. But other than that, I won't be using the New Wave Primo grill oven, and I'm not even going to be mentioning the New Wave Primo grill oven in the future at all. I don't plan to unless something comes up that warrants it, because basically I'm done with it. I've done well over 50 videos on the New Wave Primo grill oven. I hope that those are of benefit and help to all of you who have or are interested in the New Wave Primo grill oven. But since it's disqualified, I won't be mentioning it in comparison here any further. And so basically with the disqualification of the New Wave Primo grill oven, the champ that was the champ before the New Wave Primo is now my champ again, and that's the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven. So the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven compared to the Breville Combi Wave, both are very good. The only reason I put the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven just above the Breville Combi Wave is because the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven is able to do things like toast, and it's able to get things a bit crispier on the air fry. And the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven, although it's not a microwave, you've seen in my videos, it can cook a lot of stuff as fast as a microwave anyway. So I like the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven just a little better, but I like having that Breville Combi Wave over on the side to go to do a lot of things as well. So the champ for me is now the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven again, and it's pretty nice having both of those in the kitchen. You know, personally, you know, I think that the best of both worlds is having a Breville Combi Wave and the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven. You can basically cook up everything real nice. And although the Cuisinart Digital Air Fryer Toaster Oven is a convection toaster oven like some others, it cooks faster than those others. That's why the Cuisinart gets the edge. I would say that other convection toaster ovens, it's probably like a draw between them and the Breville Combi Wave, depending on, you know, which you might prefer for features. But the Cuisinart just gets that edge, in my opinion. Cooks a little faster, you know, does a great job. Now let's talk about, is the Breville Combi Wave worth the money? I mean, this is, compared to others, a pretty expensive cooker. But in my opinion, it is definitely worth the money to get a Breville Combi Wave if you are interested in the Breville Combi Wave, because it does everything, including the microwaving. You know, microwave, air fry, convection oven. You can't get that in other cookers. Although the Amazon Smart Oven has that, you know, it's not as good, in my opinion, from, you know, my look at it, at the Amazon Smart Oven. The Breville Combi Wave has the Fast Combi feature. You're not going to find that in any other cooker. And Fast Combi is a nice way to get food done that is basically like baked, but in a lot less time. So Breville Combi Wave gets the win in my book as far as, you know, is it worth the money? Definitely yes. And so with that, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and once again, as I always say, good eating.